In last week's episode, we talked about the 6 different components that make up your Shopify deposits. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, be sure to go back and listen to it first because this episode builds directly on that one. Today, we're actually going to be taking it a step further because knowing what those 6 components are is one thing, but actually knowing how to record them correctly in your QuickBooks is a whole nother thing. So if you have just been recording your deposits straight from your bank account as sales revenue, this episode is going to be a big one for you. Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Boutique Bookkeeper Show, where we take the mystery out of your money and make your numbers make sense. I'm Megan, virtual bookkeeper and bookkeeping coach, and I love helping female boutique owners just like you finally feel confident about the financial side of your business. If you're tired of feeling anxious every time you have to open QuickBooks, or if you're making sales but constantly left wondering, where did all that money go? You're in the right place. We'll cover all things bookkeeping and taxes, all in plain English, so you can be less intimidated by the numbers and finally start to use them to help you grow a profitable boutique. So, if you're ready to stop avoiding this whole numbers thing and start keeping more of the money you make, grab your coffee and your calculator and let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Boutique Bookkeeper Show. I'm Megan, and today we are going to be talking about how to correctly record your Shopify deposits or deposits from your Square, PayPal, whatever point of sale system you use. We're going to be talking about how to correctly record those deposits in QuickBooks Online because, as we covered last week, that deposit number isn't just your straight sales. It's made up of the 6 different components, and every single one of them really should be recorded separately in your books to give you the most accurate picture of what's actually happening. And honestly, this is one of the most common mistakes I see boutique owners making. And the good news is that once you understand the system, it's actually a really simple process, like genuinely simple. So let's start really quickly by recapping the mistake itself, because I want you to understand why this is a problem, not just that it is one. So when your Shopify payout lands in your bank account, I know it's really tempting to just pull it up in QuickBooks and categorize the entire thing to your sales or revenue account. And honestly, that makes total sense if no one has ever told you otherwise. But when you record it that way, the financial reports that you are going to be creating in your QuickBooks just aren't going to be accurate. And you could end up paying more in income taxes than you actually owe because your revenue is going to be overstated or higher than it actually is. And if you want the full breakdown of why, be sure to go back and listen to last week's episode because I take a deeper dive into the problem itself. But in today's episode, we're going to be more focused on the fix. So here is kind of the mindset shift that starts to make this whole thing click. So I want you to start thinking of your Shopify account or the different payment processors that you have almost as separate bank accounts. So the moment that a customer swipes their card or clicks checkout on your online store, that money is legally yours. But as I know you are all aware, the moment that that happens, the money doesn't automatically land in your bank account, right? It kind of sits in this virtual processing space for up to, a couple days, maybe even up to a week before that money actually hits your bank account. But like I said, as soon as they check out, that money is legally yours. It is owed to you. So I want you to start thinking of all of your payment processors as these virtual bank accounts that hold that money for the time being until the money hits your account. So you are going to set up bank accounts that represent that in your QuickBooks account. So I like to call them like undeposited Shopify funds, undeposited PayPal funds, something to that effect. And we will get into a little more of the methodology in just a minute. But be sure to think of all of your payment processors as these virtual bank accounts. So once you have that set up, here's the actual process. So once a week or once a month, whatever rhythm kind of works for you, you are going to enter all 6 of those components that we talked about last week into a single entry in QuickBooks called a journal entry. So it's going to be your gross sales, your discounts, your returns, your shipping income, your sales tax collected, the processing fees, and then also just how the payment was collected. So it was collected via Shopify, cash, PayPal, whatever. all of that gets plugged into a journal entry, which is basically just a table in QuickBooks where you enter all of those numbers from directly your Shopify store. Here's the part where it gets really cool though. So you can set up this journal entry structure one time and save it as a template, or also known as a recurring transaction. And once you set this up just one time, every time that you want to record the prior week or prior month sales data, all you have to do is plug in the new numbers directly from your Shopify and save it. And the whole process only has to take you about 2 minutes. And then after you do that, the next step is when the actual deposits show up in your actual bank account, so your real checking account, all you have to do is record those deposits as transfers from whatever virtual bank account it was paid with. So if all of those Shopify deposits, you're just going to record those as transfers from your undeposited Shopify funds to show that, hey, those funds are actually done processing now. They're no longer in this virtual bank account floating around on the internet. The money is actually in my bank account. So you're just moving the money from one bank account inside your QuickBooks into your checking account inside of QuickBooks. There's no math needed. You don't have to try and reverse engineer what numbers make up that deposit because you already handled all of that in your journal entry. You're just recording the deposit as a simple transfer. And the last piece I want to mention about this entire process is this allows you to actually reconcile or review for accuracy all of the payouts that you are actually getting from your payment processor. And that's the process that allows you to make sure that your Shopify or whatever point of sale system you are using, they're actually paying you all of the money that you are owed. This process of reconciling your Shopify payouts means that you can compare the total payments that you had recorded that you had collected compared to what was processed via Shopify. You can make sure that that total minus all of the fees that they have deducted actually matches what was deposited into your bank account because you are comparing all of those numbers each and every month through the reconciliation process. So this whole process, it really is simple once you get in there and you know what you're looking at, but this process is what allows you to have that peace of mind that, yes, Shopify is giving me everything that they owe me. So here is the takeaway that I want you to take from this episode. Each of those deposits that you receive into your checking account, you do not need to break them out into sales, discounts, refunds, sales tax, shipping income. You don't need to do that at the individual deposit level. Set yourself up a recurring journal entry template. You click into that either once a week or once a month, depending on whatever cadence works best for you. Plug in the numbers directly from your Shopify. All of the deposits that actually hit your checking account, just record them as transfers from these undeposited Shopify virtual bank accounts. I sometimes call them like dummy bank accounts because obviously they're not really bank accounts, but the money is in this virtual space until it actually lands in your bank account. And that's the whole process. But if you listen to this episode and you're still feeling a little overwhelmed by either the journal entry piece or the reconciling process, and you want to actually see how all of this is done, then I want to invite you to join us inside the Bookkeeping Made Simple for Boutiques membership. I'll be the first one to say that sometimes this stuff is easier to learn by actually seeing how it's all done. And inside the membership, I walk you through all of this step by step on video so you can actually follow along in your own bookkeeping as you watch me do it on the screen. So you can join us at findingfreedomfinancial.com/membership, and you can find the link in the show notes as well. But that's all that I have for you today. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode. I'll see you there. Hey there, and thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that I shared something that helped you feel just a little bit more confident in understanding all the numbers in your boutique business. If you found this helpful, don't forget to go and leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. That's the best way for other boutique owners just like you to find this podcast so I can help them feel just a little bit more confident in their numbers as well. If you have any questions about what you heard today, hop on over to Instagram and send me a DM at Finding Freedom Financial. I'll be back again real soon, but in the meantime, go implement or take action on something you learned today. I promise your future self will thank you.